The one thing that I think is important for U.S. practitioners to understand is that as a practicing lawyer, one of my and a former prosecutor, one of the first things that always comes up when I have a new device is, will this meet a Frye or Daubert challenge? And if anybody in here doesn't know what a Frye or Daubert challenge is, they are not fun. Essentially, this is where opposing counsel can say that evidence is garbage and it can't be verified independently. U.S. versus Frye was a 1923 case involving a crude, rudimentary, first-time use of what we would call a lie detector test. It measured systolic blood pressure, and eventually they threw it out using a very basic test that basically said, has this type of testing been accepted across the country? And so they threw the evidence out in the Frye test. The second case is a 1993 case called Daubert versus Merrill Dow Pharmaceuticals. That involved a drug called Vindectin, and the question was, did Vindectin actually cause a number of birth defects? And what happened was they had 130,000 people in the sample group. They created a new rule. Daubert now controls all of U.S. federal courts when it comes to Federal Rules of Evidence 702. That's a nerd thing that I just threw out there, but essentially talks about the nature of evidence and whether it can be used in a court as relevant evidence. And they set up a 5-factor test. Just real quickly, whether the theory or technique in question can be, has been tested, is subject to peer review, it's known of rate of error or potential rate of error is known, the existence and maintenance of standards controlling its operation, and whether it has attracted widespread acceptance within a relevant scientific community. Each of the parts of the AlcoTag, everything that the AlcoTag uses, has already passed that scrutiny before. There's nothing new about the device and the way that it's used, except for the adding of the GPS to it. Now, the information and the data information that's provided is upgraded and newer. Not only would this pass the Frye and Daubert test, Daubert is the rule in all of federal courts. It's also the rule in a majority of state courts. But when you have those particular issues, you can rest assured not only will the device pass that test, but the technological advances they've made, that Charles over here has made sure he's met, and also the FCC standards that they have met, would absolutely pass any type of scrutiny. The evidence that these will produce will absolutely pass any type of questioning on the stand. And I think you will find that in the very near future, not only is it already standard accepted, at least the data and information that's going to be contained, this is going to be the standard bearer. And I think that's going to be the real key. As a 23-year practicing lawyer, I would say that this particular device is going to change the way that each of you practice, and you can rest assured it's reliable and it can be backed up in court. And ultimately, that's the main goal, right, for all of us. Because if we're providing garbage data, then it's no good. It'll never be used. This will pass that test with flying colors, and I would wholeheartedly endorse it because it passes those legal challenges.
Great. Thanks so much.